What's up, YouTube? It's FitzBro, and we are doing a review of a viewer game, Blitz 3683. Sit this one in. He is playing the Delhi Sultanate versus China on Mongolian Heights, and this is around rank 2000. And you can see his chat down here below, so feel free to read that as we go along here. But my goal here is to look for tips and tricks on how he could improve his gameplay as Delhi. We know that he does lose this game, so looking for anything that we think could help him improve. And if you have thoughts on things that he could have done differently or something that maybe you think I misspeak on, leave it down in the comments below. And it's all in the vein of helping people get better. So let's watch this. Of course, a lot of this is going to change after we get the change to horsemen tomorrow in the patch. Okay, so he's opening up. He's putting villas on wood. So obviously going for the water, which is a common thing to do here on Mongolian Heights. Taking 4 to wood, 1 to build a house, and 1 towards the river. Newville going to food. That's pretty good. You want to have 5 villas on wood starting out, and then all new villas on food. I would have taken this villager out to wood. I think you want to have 5 villagers on wood right now. And not to mention, this was like weird walking time. So for some reason, you really wanted to do this. You shouldn't have walked here and then walked back. But I would have put first 5 on wood, and then all new villas go to food, and then 1 vill goes to the river. Now, there's different strategies about like where to build your dock on this river, because like you can wall like this way across the river or whatever. But Delhi's pretty good at dominating on this on water, but since their fishing boats attack. What I would plan is find out where his dock is with your scout. If he is going for a dock, he might not even go for a dock because he knows you're Delhi. But I would, grab some sheep and then scan particularly the corners. A lot of players like to build their dock like in this edge of the map because then they can wall, right? Because he could build on this left side and then he could wall off against your fishing boats. Some people will do that. So I think Delhi right in the middle. It's a nice little power play there. Nice and confident. But you can go, some people go to the side. Okay, so you've got your sheep. You've got 5, looks like 6 on wood. I typically stick with 5 on wood, and then new villas, I put like the first few to sheep, but then once you have your fish production going, you want to quickly get out to that gold mine. Get like 2, 3. Honestly, a lot of times I'll go to like 4 or 5 to gold, and then I'll pull 4 off of gold to build my landmark and leave like 1 on gold in transition. Yeah, it is not a free win on water because you have shooting fishing boats. Like, it's strongest in the Dark Age if he goes dock, but he's not even going dock here. He's just ignoring it. Oh, holy cow. He got a lot of sheep. Yeah, Snoopa, let me know if you've got any thoughts on this. Snoopa is a high-level Delhi player, so probably has a lot of good insight here. Tower on the opponent's dock, walling the crossings. Yeah. So Snoopa's pointing out, a lot of people talk about how strong Delhi is on water. They're so good on water, and I largely disagree. Their fishing boats are great in the Dark Age. Like, that's where your power spike is, because once you hit the Feudal Age, your dhows are worse than most other fishing or attack ships in the Second Age, and you're going to easily get knocked off if you don't try to contest this water. So I would just keep scouting here. Make sure he doesn't have a dock. And this is very smart. Look at this. He's building an outpost to help defend. So I think that's a pretty good move. Usefulness of sheep for second scout. I mean, obviously a second scout is going to get you a lot of sheep. And you got to consider, even if like you don't need the sheep because you're going to have fishing boats, you're just taking those sheep away from your opponent. Like, I mean, look how many sheep he has right now. I'm not a big fan of the second scout personally. You can do it. Honestly, I feel like it kind of depends on the player and the matchup. I don't typically go for a second scout, especially here. Like, I feel I get that villager out early. So since I'm putting so many on wood, I don't want to like spend extra on a scout early on here. Yeah, more than just getting sheep. It can also be used for denying docks and stuff. So a reason to build a second sheep here is it can help you find another, like it'd help you scout out the water. Like one is, you know, going in the sheep, and then another one could be looking for where is this villager building a dock, and you can go harass them. Now we know there's animation canceling, but they've already addressed in the February update that animation canceling is going to be going bye-bye. So honestly, I wouldn't like get used to like the crux of your strategy being denying their dock with a scout, because that's not going to be a long-term solution. Yeah, a lot. Some people will straight up ignore water because they don't want to deal with deadly on water. And after you've ran back a few times, you could walk over here and see what is going on. Like, honestly, by seeing that he doesn't have, like, he wasn't gathering a bunch of wood. Where did he build this lumber camp? By seeing that he wasn't having like 5 villas on wood, like if you had ran over here, you would know he's not on water. I think ignoring water is a disadvantage. Water is very, very strong. He will really need to have a plan, though. Like, if he goes, like, some people will ignore water and then go very aggressive into taking out your docks. That is something you can do, but it's a huge risk. Because this is just a huge eco spike. You know, it's 2 town centers in the Dark Age. He's going to try to outboom my land, but he will be vulnerable to an age 3 timing. Yeah. I mean, people can, you can win games without going water. It's not that you can't, which I guess, I mean, China does win in this situation. But, I mean, honestly, these sheep are helping his case of, like, having a ton of food in base. And China likes to go professional scouts a lot of times. And he's clearly going, like, you should be scouting him right now and seeing that he's going for he's obviously going for a second town center. And maybe you just, I mean, you can assume that a lot of times with China. But you've got a good defense here on the water. I would make it my goal, like, if I realize he's sitting back and booming, I don't like to feudal push China. I think it can be really risky because of the Zugnu. I would be powering out scholars into the mosque, which it does look like you're doing, and focusing on getting sanctity. I would even consider, like, canceling this and starting up sanctity, because if you can grab these sacred sites while he's sitting back in his base, that's going to massively help you age up. So I would be going for a fast castle at this point. You're going to have a lot of food because you have water. You can keep continuing to scout the coast to see if he's trying to contest, but look, he's not even contesting. So you can just, like, hold your water and just safely boom here to castle age, I think is what you could do. Yeah, so it looks like Blitz says he scouted the Imperial Academy. News to be booming. So with that, basically all you need to do is just make sure he's not trying to contest your water. So just, like, run back and forth. You're doing that. You know you have water. I would make more fishing boats and just focus on aging up. Get sanctity. Get those sacred sites. Go for 2 of these. This is a hard map to hold to, but early on, you can grab 2 sacred sites, and then the second you hit the next age, pick up the relic. Pick 1 relic there, pick 1 relic. I mean, for 2 scholars, right? You can bring in a ton of relics. And that's going to put you in a pretty good spot. And, like, you've done a really good job getting scholars out quickly. You've just now started sanctity, though. Like, it's okay that you dropped a mosque a little bit later, but I think you should get this as soon as possible in a situation like this. Because that gold it's extra villagers. Not only do you have more villagers on water right now, right? Getting that free gold, that adds up. Yeah, you can pause techs as a Delhi Sultanate. That's a very important note. Some people don't know this. You can cancel a tech and start the other one, and it doesn't lose its progress towards research. So it's like for right now, we delayed sanctity to get efficient production. But what are you using efficient production on? Nothing, right? There's not. You haven't been using it. Okay, starting these techs. I like this. Starting the, especially when you go for scholars early on. Getting his blacksmith techs. I like to do 2 blacksmiths, honestly. At least 2 blacksmiths. Some people even go 3, but 2. Why town centers close to each other? Are you talking about for China? It's just that for defense. He's playing super compact. He has all the food he needs here. I mean, I don't know. I think he could have put a town center on the gold, but it's just like he just wanted to drop as fast as possible in a really defensive, compact location. He's bringing food in. So I think that's why China's doing this. Yeah, so holding off pressure. So going up with the compound defender, I approve of this. I honestly, after tomorrow's patch, I feel like I'm going to be trying out the House of Learning and Hone Blades once again. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be going for compound defender. It might be a mixed case when I do. But, you know, this is the right decision at the moment. Okay, so going for you're aging up to 3 and you're dropping a barracks. It's a good move. Typically, like, okay, you gotta like be thinking about right now, what am I gonna do when I hit age 3? I would be planning on securing these sacred sites and grabbing relics early on. Have 2 blacksmiths powering out tech since you have, you know, 4 scholars. Honestly, even right now, I like to a lot of times eject scholar. Oh, you're doing it. There you go. And go grab relics and sacred sites. So you're doing that. But you could have done this in transition. Like these could already be headed out to the relics or already be there. Yeah, I think Compound Defender will still be a good option. I just think House of Learning will actually be a more viable option once again. Now, what I would be thinking about right now is how can I hit China here soon? Because China is going to be extremely strong late game, right? Because their siege is particularly like once they have this clock tower online, China is particularly strong. So I would be thinking about, okay, how can I make a run on their base? I really feel like, and Snoopa, let me know what you would think here. I think you could be like rushing some elephants in this scenario and planning on a push on his base. A lot of times I like to just do like elephants and archers because you just want to be able to kill the spearmen. And I did that in a recent game, actually. I think it was against China too, where I just went elephants and archers. And the archers take off the spearmen, and you can go tower elephants or you can go war elephants. War elephants are going to be tankier. Tower elephants and man arms straight away. Yeah, I think that'd be a good mixture too. So you're going to use your elephants for the siege, use the man arms for, you know, you could be forcing all these to idle. I mean, right now, look, he doesn't have any military yet. And so you want to get on, I think you want to get on top of this before he gets a massive siege. Because once he has like 2, 3, 4, you know, of these nested bees, it's going to be really challenging just to run up in his base, even with the elephants, if he has appropriate protection for them. There you go. You've got these sacred sites. This was good. I think you could have got them sooner. And you could even be going for a sacred site victory. Like you could wall this up or just come out here with villagers. Like during transition, get your stone, and then you could drop a keep here. But either way, like you have the gold right now. I hear an elephant, so that's good. You got a terror elephant. You've got some man arms, but I would drop multiple barracks, like maybe 3 or even 4. I think maybe 3 barracks would be enough. 3 or 4, or depending on your mixture of using efficient protection, maybe powering out elephants and men at arms and pushing. Yeah, more production buildings would definitely be helpful here. You have a ton of gold. You do not need to, once you've got relics and sacred sites, you do not need to be gathering gold like this. And it's easy with Delhi to you've recognized it, but it's easy with Delhi to over gather on gold. And so what you could do is you could drop a market right now and buy a little bit of food or buy a little bit of wood to get some more production. Like, don't just sit there and sit on that 1,600 gold being like, oh, well, I'll need it eventually. At this point, I would pull every villager off of this gold. I struggle with verse Delhi as China versus Elephant Archer. What do you recommend that China does? Crossbows, I think, are pretty dang effective against Delhi in general. If you're going man-arm and tower elephant, crossbows are going to do quite excellent. And with like a little bit of buffer, like you need something on the front line to stop the man-arms from getting straight up on your crossbows. Yeah, horsemen are also really, really good at countering elephants. So if you had... And you can easily focus on the stable, right, with your Imperial Official and get a lot of horsemen out. Horsemen and crossbow would wreck this composition. So, but this is also why, like, scouting is important. Like, you don't know what units he's making right now. Neither player really knows what units they're making. Of course, the wall doesn't help situations. Okay, so you've got these elephants. I think the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is a mistake. I mean, knowing that you lost this game is you're sitting on almost 2,000 gold right now. And meanwhile, you're letting China grow in strength, and they're going to be stronger later on in the game. Look at the villager count, 58 versus 66. So he has more villagers. Here we go. He's getting his next dynasty. Nice. I like this move, actually. Oh, no, it didn't get completed. Oh man, that would have been clutch if these got completed. I think you had the right idea here. Oh man, that would have been like you would have held this. Damn, that really hurts. That's kind of unlucky, but also like maybe power out one, maybe focus one Stonewall Tower at a time, knowing that like the opponent is going to be targeted. You like the second you took that sacred site, your opponent's going to target it. But now you know what his comp is. You know he has palace guards, you know, like man arms and nest of bees. Not that it's a huge surprise. So you can build the counter. So looking at this, like I would consider, I feel like I would just go like I said before, crossbows and tower elephants would do well here. But you've got to focus on neutralizing these clock towers. So I would even like have these few man-at-arms, start training some crossbows, run at these with the man-at-arms. I don't like to go into Springalds typically as Delhi, but I don't know. On it, but you have the red. Well, okay, you spent it now. Now we're spending it, but it's a little like it's kind of like reactionary spending right now. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Karate Pawn says you should be looking for a win once you hit H3 and make sure it hits H4. And I 100% agree with that. Delhi's biggest power spike is early castle because you can make these elephants right away, and those are strong elephants that are strong units that are hard to deal with when you don't have a large army. And he's been booming, so he particularly didn't have a large army early on. Elephants are the best before your enemy masses up and is able to like snipe them, right? Even right now, this is a good situation. Like, bring up these elephants, push this. Oh man, but you're gonna lose all. Man, this is gonna be tricky. You had the sprint though. I think you had that researched, maybe. Maybe you didn't. I really like to power out the sprint ability. I think you have it. Yeah, you were sprinting before, and you can chase these. Like, that's the best chance for chasing these clock towers. Like, he was very overextended with his clock tower nest of bees. You could have maybe grabbed him, but you're sitting on a sacred site. He can actually see through the fog of war. Let's see if we can show you. Yeah, look at this. He can see. He knows exactly what your army comp is right now, and he even sees that one crossbow, knowing you're throwing crossbows in the mix. So don't just stand on sacred sites. Stupid says, I think you're putting too much emphasis on setting up defense on your sacred sites rather than just running into his base and doing significant damage. I would agree. In this matchup particularly, I wouldn't rely on just sitting back and building defenses. Why? Because China's going to boom up, and then they're going to roll in with their clock tower bombards when they hit 4, and you're going to get close to winning, and then his bombards are going to shatter all of your defenses. And this is great to, like, he's not going to be contesting your sacred sites if he's chilling back on his base because you're pressuring him. Like right now is go time. You have, I mean, even right now, like let's look at the comparison. You have 4 tower elephants, a group of men at arms, and some crossbows. I like the crossbows in the mix. Like if you pushed him right now, he doesn't have enough army to stop this. He would have to kite back. It would force him into the... But now look, he's H4. He's got a lot of res in the bank because he's been able to just sit back and boom. And oh my, I know exactly how this game ends. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And like, imagine like if you saw this because you're like up here pressuring him, like you could see what's coming. You could see this is coming and be prepared for it. But this is... I mean, even right now, if you were like attacking him, even though he's at H4 and he's in a great position, if your elephants were bearing down his base, you could be knocking out these stables, or you could have got them as they were going up and prevented him. He could have all the res. I've had this where China player has way more res than me, and I just take out his military production, and he just is never able to catch up. So now he has this boom. I mean, you got the sacred sites, but it don't matter. Now look, here comes his bombards. Bombards will be able to help snipe elephants. He's making the fire lancers. I mean, this game is over. I'm going to speed this up. It's like you've lost at this point. You lost it a lot earlier. Biggest takeaway, H3, get those, whatever your comp, whether it's going to be elephants and crossbows or elephants and man-at-arms or something like that, have some kind of combo of units that you're going to be attacking with. So whether that is war elephants and archers to counter, spears, or it's man-at-arms and tower elephants. You want, like, okay, you hit H4 right now, but he's getting, like, he doesn't have to wait forever for his techs. And his siege units are going to be stronger because of the clock tower. And it's going to get to the point where he can just snipe you. Not to mention, these fire lancers kill everything right now. Now, This could be different once these, I mean, these Fire Lancers are getting nerfed. It's certainly going to change this specific strategy. But even without the Fire Lancer, like if he was spending his res on Palace Guards or crossbows or whatever it might be, his eco is just a powerhouse right now. Look at income per minute. So he's got 97 versus your 90. I mean, you've done a pretty good job getting pretty close to his villager boom. Yeah, Fire Lancer is still going to be good against buildings post-nerf. They're still going to be good against villagers. But yeah, here we go. Let's watch this engagement. You got Springled Sim. So you're really... it's clear that your strategy was to hold the Sacred Sites, right? So let's watch how you're able to do that. So you clear out this Fire Lancers. Honestly, this is good. Yeah, you were able to... Crossbows are doing a good job at picking these things off. You seem to have crushed this fight, so this was a good engagement. I mean, granted, you have the defender's advantage. You do have your defenses. You get all this. Honestly, like, right now, push. Like, don't let him regroup. Do not let him regroup. Oh, my gosh. Imagine if he ran across these. Okay, he's building his walls. Yeah, don't be this passive. Like, some civilizations you can get away with just, like, holding up on the sacred sites, but not China. There's no way. And not to mention, like, okay, you're going for a sacred victory. He can run through this with Fire Lancers and take this, which I don't know if that's what he does, but you're not going to hold it like this. Like, he sees this. He should be looking for where else can I pressure. You can also run straight across the middle of the map and take out your landmarks. I honestly think China could make a number of combination of units right now, but even if, like, your plan is to sit here and defend, like, send something in to scout his unit comp. Like, see, is he adjusting? Is he going on? Like, what else is he making? Yeah, Lancers are very cheap because of Spirit of the Way. It makes buildings nearby the landmark produce dynasty units at 30% discount cost. Yeah, hand cannons aren't great. But yeah, I would push right now. Now, let's see this. You are in age 4 Delhi. Not my favorite thing. But you are H4 Delhi. You have... oh, you did go to 2000 at some point. Get your university. I see you dropping one. The madrasa, rather. With Delhi, since they come in so slow, I build literally like 2 or sometimes even 3 madrasas if I have the wood for it. But I would at least start with 2 madrasas and get your upgrades for your infantry and get your upgrades for your elephants, your cavalry. Man, I'm scared about this. Like, honestly, even like you're getting tons of gold, but are we like we are? The other thing is to consider. You've been sitting on pop max. You're population max. He isn't. So you don't want to sit there and just tank. Like, if you're going to be saving up this res, you need to be throwing down production buildings so you can instantly repop or something. Like, this is not enough production buildings for how much res you have in the bank right now. I would have like 3 blacksmiths right now. You're still working on 1. Like, I know you. I guess you have made a decent amount of scholars, but I would get at least like 2 or 3 blacksmiths at this point. Yeah, I don't know what the countdown timer is. So how close were you to winning the sacred site victory? Okay, you see this? Like, bring the elephants. You could just nuke this, right? I think you could even take this army. Well, I don't know. That's a lot of Fire Lancers. Oh boy, you're gonna get Fire Lancered. This is gonna be scary. Ahoy! Yeah, build some more military protection. I would actually consider, since he does have Fire Lancers, like, see if there was a way, like, oh man, you probably can't, like, close this gap. There's his bombards. Okay, you have a lot of Springolds. Let's see how this engagement goes. But bombards are hard to beat. Oh boy, I'm scared. Oh god. You do not want to be grouped up like this. Oh my gosh, those SFBs are gonna... Oh no! Oh, this is going to be a slaughter. That did a lot of damage. Yeah, there goes all of your infantry. And these Fire Lancers, they're light cav. They're going to be pretty effective against these tower elephants. Like, you might hold this, but this has been, like, his investment in this fight versus your investment in this fight. Not great. And you don't have to, like, honestly, you'd almost be okay if you had the military production behind this. Like, you hold this. I think you could have even charged your villagers into combat here against these bombards, but it would have been hard to get them. But I don't know. I would have really targeted those clock towers down first and then focused on the nest of bees and then focused on the bombards. But don't bunch up like that. But you're still holding right now. You could have also, like, you could have taken your man-at-arms, gone around the left side, and sprinted in against his siege line. That's what he did to you. He sprinted in with his palace guards to your siege line. He's doing it again. Yeah, your spring golds have gotten very, very little value here. And honestly, in H4, don't make spring golds. Make bombards. Yeah, boy. At this point, you're not going to win the siege fight. This is the problem. Like, once China gets their siege death ball going, you're going to be in big trouble. But you still, like, you could run him in arms here, right? But at this point, he has wiped out a lot of res with those, like, 4 bombards. Like, yeah, elephants are going to be useless if he's got bombards in the field. Now, here are dings. So 3 minutes till Sacred Site victory. Like, you could have even had, like, 6 barracks set up right here and could have just repopped all of man-at-arms. Or... I even like to do spearmen sometimes just because they're cheaper. Like, look at this. This is good. This is really good. Like, if you had more man-at-arms coming in, like, earlier on in this fight. Oh, yeah, and this is cheeky. This is stupid. And this is what drives me crazy. Ah, boy. Because he's repairing fast and kill him. But you don't have enough units. You're not going to have enough units in this fight, and you're just trickling right now. Yeah, I think you could have won in Age 3. Is the biggest takeaway here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take that sacred site, and that's going to be victory for him. So, biggest thing is don't stack res. As Delhi, don't try to play to Age 4 against China, particularly against China. You want to try to... let me get in here. You want to try to make some kind of timing attack in the 3rd age. It's kind of hard to push him in feudal. And he didn't even try to contest your water, which was particularly good. So you know he's sitting back booming. Take those sacred sites, grab some relics, use that gold to your advantage, and push in. Snoopy says it's easy to say watching the wreck, different in game, but yeah, I think you got some solid takeaways. And I totally agree. Because sometimes you look at a wreck and you're like, oh man, like I should have done this. And that's also a good note to anyone is when you lose games, as tough as it is sometimes, go back and watch your recording. And it might reveal, like, it might have been obvious looking at that, like, oh, yeah, I should just attack. You didn't have anything. It's good to see, like, with the map revealed, what position were you in and what you could have done. So thank you to Blitz for submitting that game. I do periodically review player games. I got a lot of people asking about, do I do coaching? I don't really have a ton of time to dedicate to doing coaching. I usually do this live on stream when the moment strikes me. So what I'll tell you is if you want to have one of your games reviewed, the best thing you can do is join the Discord, watch when I'm live on Twitch, and I usually will advertise when I am reviewing a viewer game. So hope you enjoyed this review of a viewer game, and leave a comment below if you have other suggestions or any type of feedback. And as always, if you like this, make sure you hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.